All right, welcome to Sunday Morning Rituals. My name is Rod Stanley, owner of Ritual Health and Fitness, and I'm glad you're here to join me today. I have a exciting topic to talk about, a partnership with myself and Chris Olmstead of Success Fitness here in Salem, Oregon. But before I get to that, I just want to say I'm back. I used to do these lives every week, and I haven't done one since July. I've been really working hard in the backgrounds, working on a lot of things, putting them together so that I could better serve the Salem community and everyone else in getting more healthy and more fit. The mission of Ritual Health and Fitness has always been helping people improve body, mind, spirit, a holistic approach to fitness. And the motto, move, inspire, transform. My goal is to help you move through inspirational stories from myself as well as other people, and so that you can transform your life and sometimes transform the life of those around you. So before I get into the show and introduce the guests, I want to talk about this podcast I came across a few months ago by a gentleman named Patrick David Bett. Maybe you've heard of him, billionaire, I think, super wealthy guy. But he was given a strategy about how to scale a business. And one of the things he mentioned was three components: right mission, the right team, and then you're able to scale the business. So Ritual Health and Fitness, the right mission is, as I stated before, helping people improve body, mind, and spirit. And now I've gone out and found a team member who I'm excited to introduce you, Chris Olmstead. So we're going to have a good home base here where we can really do fitness the way that we see fit. And let's introduce Chris Olmstead right away. Give big drum roll. I was going to give a drum roll. I don't have a drum roll.
It's me, Chris Olmstead.
What's up, Chris, man? Thanks for being here this morning, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to do this with you.
So as I mentioned, Chris, he and I met about 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago. I was
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I was doing some business networking and came across a fantastic lady, Yvonne, who said I needed to meet this guy. And I was like, Chris Olmstead, all right, sure, I'll meet him. And once we met, we knew right away that we were kindred spirits in a sense. Both of us have been personal trainers and in this fitness industry for a long time. We've outlasted a lot of people. I'm sure, like myself, a lot of your friends who were trainers before, they're gone. Gone on to other things because it's a tough business. So Chris owns Success Fitness here in Salem, and you've been in business for about 8 years. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris, how you got in the fitness industry, what Success Fitness is all about.
Yeah, I got in the fitness industry. How old was I? I was 23 years old and started off, just picked up a job working at the front desk, and they needed an opener, and I wasn't afraid of early mornings, and they liked me. I smiled at people and remembered their names, and then that was the requirements to get a promotion. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the members were like, I like Chris. He's nice in the mornings. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm being paid to be nice, so yeah, I better be nice. Didn't seem especially that big of a deal to me, but they liked me and gave me a promotion to something called a fitness coach, and eventually I made the very lateral move to a personal trainer, and loved it.
How long ago was that, Chris, when you got started in the training again?
I want to say it was probably 25 about that time.
You were 25?
So 19, 20 years ago, basically.
Awesome. So
way back when, I suppose 2005, 2004, got into it, and like I said, loved it. And I had problems though. And one of the big problems was I had a good idea. I knew what people should be doing. I didn't know how to execute it. So I knew people should definitely be in the weight room and using dumbbells and barbells and free weights and get off the machines. And I knew that inside of me. I didn't really have the tools to execute that, or, learn how to write a program, just the basics. There wasn't a lot of assistance given to me coming up. So it was, my massive inferiority complex kicked in. Yep. And I started reading all the articles I could. And then I started buying products, educational stuff. And then I started flying out everywhere in the country to go to these workshops and stuff. And so I was very lopsided in my life. There wasn't a lot of personal Chris. It was all training. It was just, this is what I'm putting all my money into. Yeah. So I'm definitely what you would call a deep diver. So
Awesome.
I don't do casual. I go in hard. Yeah. So
Yeah, man. I'm the same way in that I like to dig in deep and really learn how things work and what makes it work. Why does this program work? And it seems like you and I had similar stories. We both got into this industry off by accident. I didn't even know that you could be a personal trainer until someone asked me if I wanted to be one. And
yeah.
I said, sure, why not? I love working out. I could teach some people to work out. And needless to say, I didn't know anything about teaching someone to work out. And the first client I had, I never forget, his name was John. I used to train him at 9:30 at night. He worked a crazy, it was, they tell you could be a trainer, you can make your own schedule. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And I ended up training this guy at 9:30 at night, which is what I always wanted.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
At night. And we started right away, man. And I was pushing him. And he said, Rod, I had to slide down the stairs on my ass the past few days. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. I probably need to learn some things here. So much like you, man, I went on the journey of learning things and getting certified. And here I am, I started in 2002, just about 2 years prior to you. So we've both been in the industry for a long time. So you started getting more educated. And then when did you, was it at that point where you kind of realized you want to make a career out of it? Or how'd that come about where you ended up at Success?
Sure. I don't know if I'm weird or this is everybody, but every job I've ever had, I always thought this could be a career. How do I turn this into a career? And when I got into personal training, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I love it.
Yeah. What was it about training that made you think this was it?
Oh, definitely getting to wear sweats all day and being called professional for it. It was the interactions with people. I always, I grew up going to a gym. One of my early on memories with my mom is going to jazzercise with her way back in the 80s and, being like
nice.
3 and 4 years old. Yeah. Right. And like her setting up her little station, and then she'd put me with my little He-Man stuff right next to her.
Leotard on too, or what?
Dude, there was a lot of ankle warmers around, a lot of leotards. So, I kind of grew up around that stuff. And when I always liked the weight room, it was even in high school, it was a place where my friends would go. And I was a unruly, unhappy teenager. So it was out of the house was the other part. It got me out of the house, and the camaraderie of the weight room and how, nice people were there.
Sure. People
was the thing I first fell in love with.
Goal oriented, right? You kind of can feel that energy. Most people there are goal oriented.
Yeah.
They're usually achieving something outside of the gym.
Oh, yes.
That's
yeah,
noteworthy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I that was the first aspect of the gym life that really appealed to me. And after that, the reason I really wanted to be a personal trainer and make it a career was the more I started looking around at my peers, and with the burgeoning knowledge base I was developing, I was thinking we can do better. This just isn't good enough. Like, I'm looking around and watching, personal trainers count reps to 15 on a hammer strength machine. Just like, what are we?
Yeah, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Yeah, it's just I don't think this is right. I don't think this is the most benefit somebody can get.
And a lot of times those trainers, they're counting reps on the machine, and they be sipping their sippy cup of protein powder, just kind of posted up, not really doing much.
Yeah, scrolling the machine, they're scrolling their phone, like, hey, did I tell you about this book I read? It's got dragons. It's pretty cool. Like, oh, come on, there's got to be more. So
you notice that the industries or a lot of people in the industry were giving personal training a bad name, and you wanted to do something about it. So How
Yeah.
are you going to be different, Chris? How do you set out and become different and not be the type of trainer that's just counting reps?
I spent a lot of money.
Okay.
I invested a lot of money. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I started buying products and after plenty of failures on my own part, I said, I decided to humble myself and say, maybe I don't know everything, which is a very foreign concept for 25-year-old Chris. It's a possibility I might not be the smartest person in the room. I don't know.
That's probably most males 25 and below. I certainly was one.
Yeah. It's just
yeah, man. I knew
it's a lot of
I decided to
ego.
move out on my own at 16, man. Crazy
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of ego just getting in the way, and yeah. So I decided there's a guy by the name of Alan Cosgrove, whose articles I read a lot of, and he had this fitness program called Afterburn. It was a fat loss manual. So I said, I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to just do whatever it says to do with my clients. And I did it. I, didn't really understand how to personalize it as best as I could, but I started just blanket putting everybody on this program, and it worked. Like, they got way better results than the nonsensical stuff I was doing. Yeah. Just sets and reps all over the place. And with this program, it was very systematic. Sure. And it made a lot of sense to me. And I was looking, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I think I'm starting to understand this thing.
What can you tell me about that program? Like, what kind of systematic approach did they take? What was he doing? If you can give me a little insight on it.
Yeah, it was all supersets. It was just paired exercising. So it paired upper body exercise with a lower body exercise.
Okay.
So, exercise number one, we're going to squat, and we're going to pair that with a push-up. And then, the second pairing would be a lunge and a row of some kind. And then after that, I want to say it would be another row pulling exercise with a core exercise. And then there'd be a finisher, some kind of interval-based finisher at the end. And that was pretty much it. It was, way back then, it was pretty groundbreaking. Like, look at how much sense this makes. And now it's like, that is basic stuff. Yeah.
But it is an interesting concept to go, like lower body, for example, and then upper body. The amount of exertion the heart has to keep up with to pump blood and nutrients and everything down below and then up high really creates a great cardiovascular effect. So simple,
absolutely,
but effective.
Yeah, while the lower body's working, the upper body's resting, and while the upper body's working, the lower body is resting. So you're able to just condense work. You're able to increase work output and keep the time the same. It makes everything just speeds up. Yeah,
and
instead of doing silly straight sets.
No doubt. And that's a great point you make about you're able to get more work in the same amount of time. And that's one of the benefits of working with someone like you and myself, is that we save you time in the gym and time overall from you having the trial and error of trying to figure out how these things work like we did. Like that we went through for months and years and spending a lot of money to figure out, hey, just do a lower body and an upper body.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I got a story. I remember being in the weight room before I owned my own place and talking to this guy, as personal trainers do when they're wandering around the floor. And he asked me for a little help, and I wrote him up a very simple 4 exercise circuit. I know exactly what it was too. It was a box squat. It was a push up. It was a step up. And then probably like TRX inverted rows or the equivalent of it or something. And so do this 3 or 4 times for 10 reps and rest as needed, not more than needed. And he's like, I'll be here for 4 hours. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, do it in a circuit. Like, you'll get done. Like, you'll probably be done in 30, 45 minutes tops. I mean, 30 minutes would be pushing it, really. So that's probably an 18-minute program. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll do my best. And I go out, go sit in my office because I'm not training anybody. And then I go back out there 15 minutes later. Dude is dripping sweat. He's on his third round. He's like, oh, this is so good. I'm like, no. Thank you for stroking my ego. I do appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But yeah, it was a novel thing for him as well. And once you kind of have the basics, the foundational stuff of what it is we do, everything just starts making a lot more sense.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So you went out, spent a lot of money, got some certifications, and now you know some things.
I know some stuff.
You know some stuff. You ready to get into business now? This when you started Success Fitness?
Oh, snap.
A few things before then.
Yeah. So we can get into business stuff. So I opened Success Fitness in 2011. I was out of the commercial gym. I did the independent contractor thing at another gym. I did a little bit of in-home training as well. And I was finally ready to make the leap into opening my own facility. I actually had another business with a buddy of mine called Game Speed Performance, where we would cater to young athletes, kind of high school kids. And that was a lot of fun, but no facility makes it really hard to figure out how to do that. But anyways,
you got to have that home base.
So I don't remember dates as a rule, but I very much remember when I opened my own.
What do you mean as a rule?
Anniversaries, my birthdays, or just not my. I didn't remember my birthday, but because I just am the way I am. If I cannot relate a date to something very specific to me, I can't do it. So other people's birthday. My mom's birthday, I didn't really have that nailed down until I was like 35. It was just not good.
Hey, that's an interesting rule. I've never heard as a rule. That's funny.
Yeah. So November 2011, opened my own facility, and
oh man, this is anniversary month. Okay.
Right? Yeah, this is 14 years? It'll be 15
13
this
years?
month. 14 on the nose, man.
Nice.
Yeah, good time to start a partnership.
That's
clean start. So November. So I opened my facility and I started in a warehouse, and I mean a warehouse. It is the business called Northside Electric, local business. They're great guys, and the owner, way back then, is just looking to rent some space in his warehouse. Business is down, and they're a pretty big time local business, but for whatever reason, he wants to rent out some of his warehouse, and it is a great big rectangle, which is everything a personal trainer wants in a gym, right? Just a massive rectangle. It's like 4,000 square feet.
Run all day, right? Sleds, run.
Exactly. Loved it. Yeah. So I have now emptied my bank account on equipment. There's nothing left in the account, right? So I go all in. And I love the concept of leap and the net will appear. So I go hard. Yeah. Like backups. What are you talking about? Just sprint. It's fine. It'll all work out. So
the clients, you build it, the clients will come. They will come.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is definitely not how it works, but that's okay. We'll get into that. So open up this facility in this warehouse. And it's, like I said, it's just a warehouse. There's no insulation. There's no signage. I am in a warehouse of a building that does not expect any kind of customers to be coming in. So not exactly like the sexiest entryway sort of facility. But I had some really cool, I had this giant concrete wall that I could screw chin-up bars into, that I could throw medicine balls against all day. But when I first opened, I didn't have a lot of the stuff. I had flooring, but not very much.
No,
And the
you know,
flooring provides tons of insulation, but mm-mm.
now you mentioned that this place was a big warehouse, and you
Yeah,
know, Success Fitness now is currently like a big warehouse. Why is that so appealing to you as a trainer? Um, you know,
lots of
most people
space.
because lots
Yeah,
of space.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. Most people, you know, when they imagine gym, they're imagining gym equipment, treadmills, you know, all
Yeah.
these big machines on the floor. Like, why is this so appealing to you? This big open warehouse with nothing but walls and chin-up bars.
For exactly the reason you said, all the machines, don't want them. I want people to move on their own. So,
Okay.
straying outside of the business side of thing and into philosophy, fitness philosophy, people don't live in machines. So why would they train in a machine? They need to
Yeah.
provide their own stability, their own balance, their own strength to move their own bodies. And so part of that is getting them moving in non-traditional ways, basically meaning just not walking straight forward. So just lateral shuffling, those old basketball defensive drills, get low, shuffle side
Right.
to the other side, and just stuff like that. Just that simple act just does wonders for people's bodies.
Absolutely.
So I wanted that big open space and lots of room to move. So I think I was really lucky with that spot. It was cheap. They rented it. It was $1,400 a month. I remember that.
4,000 square feet. That is a steal.
Yeah. And the landlords were great. They were Johnny on the spot about fixing stuff for me. But the drawback was a couple things. There was no insulation, and the acoustics were just awful when I moved in there. I didn't have a whole lot of flooring. I had some rubber flooring. I didn't have any turf or anything. So it's this big open space, and there's not a lot of stuff in it. So every time I talk, it just echoes horribly. So I have to get right next to my people and talk to them like this. Because if I, start using my big trainer voice, it just echoes and gets distorted. I was like, oh man.
So now you're this creepy trainer whispering in everybody's ears.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
we already have a reputation to uphold out here. Now
I know, right? So and on top of that, like I said, no insulation. So in the winter it got cold. In the summer it got hot. That concrete wall that I was so happy about would just bake in the late afternoon, and it start radiating heat into the gym. And I remember that first several months that I was there, there'd be gaps when nobody would be in the gym, right? And I had these two little space heaters, and I would move them over next to these mats that I had, little yoga mats, and I'd lay down on the mat, put a beanie on, and just in front of my space heaters and just shiver. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know how my people are going to stick with me. So I'm dying here. I would take the kettlebells and put them in front of the heaters in the morning to warm them up, because I knew my people would have to grab them, and they were cold. So it was just like, at least this, it'll make their hands more comfortable.
That's concierge service. I mean, that's service at
I was
its best.
doing the best with what I had. Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about how we wanted heated floors in a house when we grew up. And now warm kettlebells. Yeah. Awesome. I never even thought about it.
Yeah. But one of the big kickers was shortly after I opened, I want to say like 3 months after I opened, another local gym closed down, and I managed to snag up a bunch of their rubber matting for flooring, and as well as a giant piece of turf. And I had actually already ordered another piece of turf. So as soon as that flooring came in, a lot of the insulation issues went away. A lot of the acoustic issues went away. So that was nice. It didn't fix all of the heat and cold issues, but it got a lot better. But yeah, that was the beginning. So I was there for 5 years, and they kicked me out after a certain time. They were getting busy again and wanted the space, and they're like, you got to go. And they gave me like 6 months notice.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tons of time. So it was hardly pressing. But yeah, moved into the facility we're in now, and those guys were so great. They got out the forklifts and moved, all the flooring for me,
Where's
as
the
well as a
facility
bunch of the
located now?
equipment. Oh, it's on the other side of the block from where we're on. So right now we're on 2164 Davcourt Street,
Okay.
off of McGilchrist, that very industrial area. Um,
Awesome.
where it was
2164
before was
Davcourt.
Davcourt, yeah.
Davcourt.
So off of 19th Street, and before we were on 22nd Street. So literally on the other side of the block. So it was about as convenient a move as possible. And there are all sorts of shenanigans with the build out, but managed to get set up, got it pretty much the way I wanted it, and a very novel experience of now having an office, which is crazy to me, because before my office just kind of, off to the side of the weight room floor. So it was just, it was like, oh, I'm here all the time. I'm seeing everything. And
Awesome.
So now I have a bit of an office to, get work done and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
All right. So 2164 Davcourt Street, and
that's us.
That's us. So if you're a good workout experience, Chris, you have classes Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 p.m. We'd love to offer a session for you if you want to try out Success Fitness. You have a class on us, 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday. So you're at Success Fitness in the new location. Someone comes there. How is your gym different? I know you said you like to have people moving. There's not a lot of machines. That's a very similar philosophy to how I like to train as well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that attracted me to your gym as a potential partnership or a partnership. So we could do fitness in the way that we both see fit. We both have similar visions. So tell us a little bit about Success Fitness. What happens when someone comes there?
First thing we do when somebody comes in, we schedule them what we call a strategy session. What that consists of is sitting down for the first part. We're going to go over health history. I know,
movement.
Right?
What are you sitting down now?
Well, part of getting them to move is figure out who the heck they are. I'm not a guy who just like, come on in and day one we're going to put a barbell on your back. That's a great idea. It's not probably most of the time. So that took a while for me to learn as well. But what we do now, sit everybody down, go through that health history, injury history. We go through a little body part checklist and figure out what their various issues are with each body part, with each joint. After that, we'll go over goal setting. And then from there, we take them through something called the functional movement screen. So, there we go. Now I can see my hand. Which is an excellent tool to really figure out program design for them and where we call them energy leaks, where their movement deficiencies might be. And it just really helps make it a very individualized experience.
Chris, that's something you mentioned as interesting. Movement, energy leakages, deficiencies in movement.
Yeah.
Out of the people you see, is there a large percentage of people who have who know about these movement deficiencies before they see you, or do you find this is common that people have these movement deficiencies?
Very common for people to have them. Pretty much everybody has one somewhere in their body. I know I've got a couple. My shoulders are kind of paper mache, so trash shoulders. So I work hard to keep them out of pain. So that's my goal for my shoulders is don't hurt, which is a lot of people's goals as well.
People, for sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
With people coming in, a lot of them have a vague issue of what a problem is. So a lot of people, when they come in, they know their core is weak. They know something is wrong with their hips. They can't touch their toes, and they're like, oh, I have tight hamstrings. I've never been able to touch my toes. And there's a progression that we take them through in about 3 minutes, and they're touching their toes, and it blows their mind. Makes me look very smart. So, that's always a cool thing to be able to do. But this really helps. The FMS just really helps dial things in and gives us great starting points for these people. So they've told us where they want to go. We're on a road trip. We want to go to Vegas. Well, bad news is we're starting in, New York City. It's a long ways to go to get to Vegas. But we can make that as direct a path as possible. We know how to use the interstates, stay off the back roads, and make it easy for people to have a lot of success and pain-free.
Absolutely. I mean, that's so important. I mean, so many people that I come across these days have some sort of pain, some type of dysfunction in their body.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're unaware of even how their foot sits on the ground, or if their knee rotates out when they walk, or if they have a little hitch in their step when they're walking. And these things are so important that you're not going to be able to uncover these types of things just simply sitting in a machine. And
No,
you're just not going to be able to get to these.
No.
And that's why I loved your philosophy and your gym. Everyone who comes to your gym gets a program. Is that right? Or something like that?
Everybody gets an individualized program. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone gets an individualized program because it's important to have a workout program that treats you like an individual. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, machines just don't do that. And so now Chris is doing some functional movement screenings, getting people on the fastest route to feeling better, moving without pain. And that is my same mission as well. So when I came across Chris's website, we went down and had a visit. I said, man, we're on the same mission. We should probably partner together and do this. I've been in Salem, Oregon since 2019, and it's been a road, to be quite honest.
Yeah, man.
The first year here was the pandemic year, wildfires, ice storms.
You had horrible timing, my friend.
Yeah, it was not the greatest year, but I learned so much about myself throughout the process, even through my own healing journey. And that's what this is about for me personally, is sharing my story. Hopefully that it inspires people to, hey, it's never over. It's never too late. You can start at any time. Just start. And that's what it's about. So it's been a road. I've been at different gyms. I had my own facility here earlier this year. For those of you who follow me know that I had to close that place down. And it was just great timing to meet Chris at a time when I was ready to move forward and taking my business back to another level and really scale and help more and more people. So here we are at the cusp of this partnership and really looking to make a major impact in the Salem area and partnering with, other healthcare professionals in the industry. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about, how our mission of helping people be their most complete self, mentally, physically, and emotionally, spiritually, all those things are working together. And if we could partner, or as we partner with other healthcare professionals, we're going to be a big piece of that puzzle for people finding better health and fitness. So we have a Next Step event coming up December 5th at 6:30 p.m. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Chris, and what's going to be going on there?
Sure. The Next Step event that we have planned, December 5th.
December 5th. Did I say that?
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. You got December 5th.
Okay.
Who it's really geared for is people in the kind of treatment arena. So we're looking at naturopaths. We're looking at physical therapists, chiropractors, licensed massage therapists, acupuncturists. If you work with people's bodies, especially when they're in pain, you are who we are targeting. You're who we want to talk to. And the whole concept is develop trust, develop a relationship with these providers, and let them know you can trust us with your people. We are educated. We try very hard to make sure we don't injure our people. We're taking those precautionary steps. And a big part of that, especially when we're being handed off a patient, is working with you guys and listening to what you have to say. If it's a rotator cuff person, they have pain doing whatever shoulder stuff. Just two questions I always ask is, what do you want them to be doing? And what do you want them to not be doing? And we find a way to incorporate that into the program design. So generally our mission, if they're coming to see us, is more than just, I don't want to be in pain. It's, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to move better. I have this weird hitch in my step. I don't know where it came from. It takes me 5 minutes of walking to get it out. I'm like, okay, well, we can do that. We can help you move better overall. Your shoulder issue, we'll talk to your person, figure that out. Develop trust, the biggest thing, and make sure we're the name that come to those guys' mind.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, we want to be that next step here in the Salem, Oregon Valley of being a partner in each person's health. I have, as I mentioned, 22 years of experience. Chris has right at 20 years of experience. And throughout that process, I've had the opportunity to work in age management medicine, where I worked alongside a physician, coaching patients on improving their laboratory values, improving their VO2 max so they could decrease all-cause mortality, working with them on their nutrition, as well as spending some time working as an emergency medical technician. So we have some experience. Obviously, we're not medical doctors, but we do have the experience and expertise to coach patients along those lines that physicians are working with them on, to not only help them move better, but also improve some health parameters, whether it be cholesterol, decreasing their risk for diabetes, decreasing their risk for heart disease, improving their VO2 max, which is a great thing for decreasing all-cause mortality. So a lot of different health parameters we're looking at. We're also going to be doing cutting edge things here with body composition. I found, and maybe you have as well, Chris, people don't really have an understanding of body composition and what it means and how they can relate it to them. So I think that's eye-opening information that we can impart to your clients and patients and give them a straight line path to get the results they want. So what have you experienced anything along those lines with the minimal amount of awareness the average person comes into the gym with about their body and about their health?
Oh yes. That's one of the things we find with a lot of people when they come into the gym is they've just kind of lost perception of where their body is in space. Concept you and I call proprioception, where your body is at in space relative to everything around it and what it's doing. But a lot of people, if they can't see it in the mirror, it kind of goes away in their mind. So everything on the back side of their body and just learning how to articulate different joints kind of goes away. And a lot of that, in a sense, it really isn't their fault. Most of us make a living by sitting down. Good, great, wonderful. You make a living for your family, you're providing, you're helping your kids out, all that stuff. A lot of that life doesn't involve climbing trees and walking around and sprinting and going uphill and downhill and moving weird and all that stuff. It's a lot of, I sit at a chair at a desk and then I tap on the keyboard and occasionally go to meetings and then I make a lot of money. That's my life. I was like, it's easy to lose touch with your body and kind of become disassociated with it. And so that's one of the big things we focus on in the gym is getting people back in touch with their body and figuring out what the heck is going on with it and what it feels like to be on the floor again, since they, last time they were on the floor, they were 9 years old. So, it's,
and
this is the floor.
That's what's so fun and fascinating about the style of training that we do, Chris, to me, is when you see someone, the light bulb go off in someone's mind about, man, I can move my body this way now. And it's almost like getting a new toy. and you learn these new ways that you can move your body now, and how you can now move it in this way with less pain. And
Yeah.
that's fascinating. And I really love that aspect of our job, just kind of restoring and re-educating people on what their body is capable of. I
Yeah.
I find so many times that, like you say, we sit down, we type a little few things, maybe we go home after that and sit down and watch TV or sit down and eat dinner,
Yeah.
then we go to bed, and just restoring the life and vitality to their body is so huge, and it gives them more of their life back. And I see our
Yeah.
job as giving people their life back.
Yeah.
Because without movement, you're pretty much toast. It's pretty much over for you if
Yeah.
you're not
Once you stop moving, start dying. Absolutely. One of my favorite stories, this guy I was training was a chef, and he was very overweight, had a belly on him, and he's like, I got to do something. And working with him, I think it was only 6 weeks into it, he goes, Chris, I did like the coolest thing ever the other day. I sat down on the floor and was able to play with my kids. And what he would do before, he could get down on the floor, but he'd have to go his hands behind him because he couldn't sit up.
Oh, got it. Okay.
An option. He couldn't sit up.
Wow.
And so he's like, Chris, I was able to sit up and play around on the floor with my kids, and it was amazing. And I did that because of what we're doing here, and because of what you wrote for me and all the weird stuff we do in the gym, and I could play with my kids, and that was incredible. I was like, dude, I'm super happy for you. That is awesome. Like, it was one of those unintended consequences of what we were doing. That was a huge perk. It's like, no, it changes my life. So
absolutely. Can you
really
imagine like going your entire life never being able to get on the floor with your kid?
Yeah, and they were at that 4 and 6 years old, that age where everything is on the ground, and he wasn't able to be involved with it really. So
wow.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, Chris, for giving that guy
Thanks, man.
and his kids some new life, man, and new hope. I mean, and these are things that people don't expect from personal training. They don't expect that they're gonna get more life back. I have even some things as simple as, I have a lady who I've trained for quite a bit of time, and she was able to open a jar without her elbow hurting for the first time.
Yeah, hey.
Like, imagine what that does to you over the course of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of not being able to turn something and hurting your elbow. That's life changing. And it's just wonderful, man. That's why I keep coming back to this job. That's why I've outlasted so many of my friends and peers in this job, because there's nothing else that I found that can be as fulfilling as giving someone that back. And I've done life insurance, mortgages, security, EMT work. Even being an EMT wasn't as rewarding, because that's more like being a taxi driver in a sense. So you didn't really get to help that person improve their health. You take them, you package them up, and that brings me to what we also do, which is creating a lifestyle of more activity, a lifestyle of more movement, a lifestyle of eating well, so that you can essentially become a new person. And that's what we're helping people do.
Absolutely. Provide a love of activity again, which is something a lot of people just lose. Going for a walk sounds like a lot of effort, and at the end of the day, when you look back on it, would you have rather watched that episode of Seinfeld again, or just gone for a 20-minute walk with your partner, with your dog, with your kids, whoever it is, or by yourself? Than rather have watch Kramer again. So it's
watch Kramer and Seinfeld move around and do things while you're sitting there.
Absolutely. Then you can do the Kramer entrance. Absolutely.
About that time you were gonna come in today, something like that. We were.
We got to rehearse that for next time.
Man. So we're excited. The next up event, December 5th, 6:30 p.m. If you're a healthcare professional, or even someone who's looking to incorporate more health and fitness into your lifestyle, come down and see us. It's going to be a complimentary event. There'll be some hors d'oeuvres, some food there. Chris and I'll talk about,
Yeah.
how we see training, how we can assist people in making those goals a reality in their life. And it's going to be a fun event, man. I'm excited about the
Yeah.
partnership with you and what we can really get
Absolutely,
done.
man.
And, one of the reasons I wanted to partner, because as a personal trainer who's working to grow a business, it's very challenging to grow the business and train people full time because you're so immersed in just training that you can't be out networking. You're not going to be fielding emails and things like that at the same time you're training. I don't think that's good service. So
Yeah.
one of the things another thing I'm excited about is just having someone who sees fitness like myself, who can be a partner with me as we grow and further the mission of more activity, more movement, better lifestyles, and all that. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited too. Having a partner means two things for me. It means number one, I get to have more time, and I get to have some more time outside of the gym and more time to put back into working on the gym instead of in the gym. And part of that person, and the other thing is just energy, being able to conserve a little bit more energy and be able to focus my energy where I would like it to go more. And personal trainer life isn't 9 to 5.
No.
It's that's about half. My day, probably starts a lot like yours. Get up at 5 a.m. And right now, I don't work at 6 a.m. I start at 6:30, and eventually that's going to change. I'm going to be getting into the gym earlier, and I get home 7:30, and there was a time I wouldn't get home till 9 o'clock at night because I'd just be working all day, and people would come in late, and just so these hours that I have now are not even the most hours I've ever worked. So yeah,
sure,
it'll be nice, but and then the networking and growing the business stuff is just, you work those 14, 15, 16-hour days. It's like, okay, let's go do the next thing. It's like, man, I gotta take a break. I am tired. I am not 27 anymore. This is hard,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had years of a 5 a.m. client. I can remember when I was at my busiest at 24
I
Hour
had
Fitness,
those too. Yeah,
Super
rough.
Sport, around 2003, 4, 5, 6, 5 a.m. client, train all the way to 12 noon, work out for an hour and a half, pick up start again at 2 or 3 till 7 at night. And that was my week every day. So and it's like, it's a labor of love really for me because,
love of the game.
You love the game. You want to help people succeed and they're dependent on you. And it's not really like a job. For me personally, it's not a job I could turn off because sometimes people message me at night or people want things. Or sometimes you have the clients who are crying with you. You have the clients who are, emotionally demanding because they have things in their life. And this is such a personal job and I try to explain it to my people sometimes. Like if someone is trusting you to tell them what to eat, or someone is trusting you to dictate what they're going to do in their schedule, is a huge responsibility, one that I don't take lightly. And, I'm appreciative for all the clients that I've had over the years who've helped me become the trainer I am, because it's a real symbiotic relationship. The more challenging they are in terms of what they need or their what their body's like or what their life's, it forces me to get better as a trainer. And, we get better together. And that's how I see the relationship between clients and myself is, it's a challenge, and it's all about personal growth. And not only this, working with clients, but this career path has helped me grow as a person, as a man, and learn so much more about myself. And I'm just excited to give more of myself back as I learn more about me to those people and impart that knowledge to them. So, hopefully they benefit. And that's what it's about. Just giving those things back that I've learned, the money that you've invested into yourself, because it's not really for yourself. It's for others
Yeah.
so that they can
Yeah.
invest in you and then invest in themselves in return, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was money invested in myself so I could, help more people.
Exactly.
And that, part of maturing is figuring out, oh, I do like helping. This isn't just about me all the time, as I was positive, for my
Sure.
20s. But yeah, figuring out, no, I can help a lot of people. I can make a difference in people's lives. And what you were talking about growing up in this, a lot of my members and clients showed me what maturity looked like, and
Right.
thank you guys for that. Took a long time
Thank you
for
for the
me to
ones who
figure it
worked me
out,
when
but
I wasn't mature, right?
yeah, sorry to all the ones early on. Sorry about that. So, but yeah, the partnership, it's we're going to be able to help a lot more people and have better lives for them and better lives for ourselves as well. So I'm excited, man.
For
Yeah.
sure, bro. For sure, man. And yeah, we've been on about 50 minutes. We'll get ready to wrap it up. But before we do, man, I want to piggyback on what I said earlier. It was about, for me in this business, the right mission, which I know we have the right mission, man. We're helping
Yeah.
people become better physically, mentally, emotionally, all the above. And then there's the right team. I feel like I found a partner who sees it like I do, who's willing to put in the work. And last thing is just scaling. I've realized that
Yeah.
I have so many interests, dude. Like, it's crazy sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm like, how in the world am I like into metaphysics, then nutrition, then cryptocurrency, then finance, and then security? And
Yeah.
and the point I make is that even with health and fitness, I have so many interests, but I realize that I cannot do it all by myself.
Yeah.
And in order to scale, it's going to take that right mission, the right team, and having that home base that I found at Success Fitness to fully scale. And scale means helping more and more people. And that's
Yeah.
what we're doing now, is scaling the business so that we can help and serve people even better and do it the way that we both envisioned over the past 2 decades that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
I sat out as a young person of a goal when I was in my 20s. And I can remember telling my aunt and uncle this, that I want to help people financially, emotionally, physically, and all those things. I can't do all that by myself, but I can have the connections to do it. And I'm excited to be in a place where things are getting ready to scale.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Same. Just took us a long time to figure it out. It's always one of those things. And then, yeah, the insistence on my part, I don't know if you felt this, being able to do it all on my own for a long time. And if I
right.
just keep grinding, it'll all work out. It's like, that's not it. It's not how it's going to work out. That's the opposite of how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is going to be great. And again, we're going to be able to help a lot of people and help ourselves at the same time. And everybody gets to be better. So that's the way I see it.
Yep. At the at the end of the day, man, I remember this saying is called each one teach one. I think it's from a rapper or something. Each one teach one. So as we learn and become more of ourselves and we learn things, we teach someone else those things, and then they teach someone else those things. And that's how we're going to affect more and more change as we continue to be more of who we are, bringing more and more of ourselves to this business, to our clients. And it's just going to be contagious. And that's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my passion, man. So
yeah, how could it not be? The whole pass it on effect, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Each one teach one, pass it on, bro. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. That's another way.
That's what it is. Pay it forward. Yeah.
Pay it forward. Yeah, man. So thanks for being here, Chris. Anything else you'd like to say, man, before we wrap it up?
Next step event, December 5th, 6:30, I believe it is.
6:30 p.m. 2164
Yeah.
Dav Court Street. I finally memorized.
That's right. Here, there I get my finger. Yeah.
That's where we're going to be at, 2164 Dav Court Street. And if you visit SalemSuccessFitness.com, if you want to know more about Chris and his story, also visit his Instagram. I'm not sure if you have a YouTube yet.
Success Fitness Instagram, no YouTube.
Okay.
No YouTube.
No YouTube, but it's all good. So yeah, visit Chris. Great guy. Been in the industry for a while, and we'd love to see you at a class again. We're gonna gift a class to anyone who wants to show up 5:30 Tuesday and Thursday p.m. at 5:30. We'd love to see you there, and have an awesome rest of your weekend.
Bye, guys.